Well, hello everybody. We're back after the bye week. It was kind of weird. Didn't have anything to really yell at, or at least football wise. so, but anyway, here we are back. The Browns play the Texans this week, and joining me as always, talk about the Browns. Cam, what's going on?
Yo, what's up, man? How you feeling?
Hey, and that's another thing, people. Cam is on a mic now. So let's just jump right into it. Um, Here we are, 5-3, coming off of the bye week, and Nick Chubb's back. The Savior has rode back into town. How much of an impact do you think Chubb's gonna have?
You know, with Chuck coming back, he's gonna have a lot of impact on the team. I think the offense will start flowing again, and I think Baker have his confidence back with Chubb coming back.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's kind of weird. Browns fans, to me, I don't know about you, they're like the weirdest people. Like they're so inconsistent. Like we as a fan base are so split over the dumbest things. Like I heard people arguing that Nick Chubb coming back is not a big deal and that nothing's going to change. It's like, yeah, Kareem Hunt was fine. I mean, Kareem Hunt did his job, but Kareem Hunt's also been playing hurt. So Chubb coming back and you get that 1-2 punch again, this team's going to be back to what we hoped it was before he left.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you on that.
Some people, man, it's like it amazes me how some people can sit there with a straight face and say, "Oh yeah, Chubb's not going to have any impact." It's like, okay. So, but anyway, so we're coming into this game against the Texans. The Texans aren't a very good team. I think that's fair to say. They fired Bill O'Brien. That's not shocking. I've been I've been saying that for a while now that should have been done. But so Romeo Crennel's taken over as interim head coach. Good for him getting one last ride in here. But the Texans aren't. I mean, this is a team that you should beat. I don't think that's arguable. Like this is a team that if you can't take care of, then you can forget all playoff hopes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, I do think this is a must-win game. I mean, we got the 2-5 Texans coming to town. I mean, you got to take care of business against teams you're supposed to beat. So we can't let them come into our house and knock us off our little so-called hot streak we have. So I think this is a must-win game for us.
And the Browns, the one thing that the bye week does is it gets you a period of time to where you can get healthy again. And the Browns have been absolutely hammered with injuries. And
Yeah, especially on the defensive side.
exactly. So you're looking at this bye week and you're now coming into I've said it 50 times already, but we're playing the Texans. We're back. You got Nick Chubb, we already talked about that. Wyatt Teller should be back. I don't know what you've heard on that. Have you heard anything on that?
No, I just heard he been practicing though.
Okay, so he is back practicing then.
Yes, Austin Hooper also practiced this week as well.
Yeah. So Chubb, Hooper, Teller, who am I forgetting on the offense? Is that it offensively?
Yeah,
And then defensively, we have so many injuries. Um, Miles Garrett was injured. Now it was minor, but he'll be back. He wasn't expected to be out anyway, but he'll be back and hopefully more healthy. Jacob Phillips, he'll be back. Mac Wilson, get more healthy. Um, Denzel Ward was dealing with some minor injuries, stuff like that. Nothing big, but um, and there's many others. But my point is I think this is a unique opportunity for the Browns to where now they can take the guys that they've got back now and they can ride this momentum for the rest of the season with a pretty easy schedule. I mean, I think they're the easiest in the NFL going through the rest of the year. So, I think it's almost like the Browns are at this crossroads right now where it's like Either you go up or you just flatline. So, how do you think this bye week is gonna, or I'm sorry, coming off of the bye week? How do you think that? What's your opinion? Do you think that's gonna help the Browns, and how much?
I mean, I think coming off the bye week was very important because we could have got a lot of key factors back. Jacob Phillips on the defensive side, Mac Wilson said he was 100%. So I mean, I think the bye week really did us good. We get a couple players back that we didn't have, and I think we'll come back out strong, finish
Did
the
Mac
season off strong.
did he say that? He say he's hundred
Yeah,
percent?
yeah, he said it in the interview from yesterday. He said he was 100%.
Really? Huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people, including myself, went into this year saying, "Hey, Mac Wilson will be our number one. You know, we don't have to worry that much about linebacker. Not that it's not going to be a problem, but I thought Mac Wilson was going to take a huge step, and people are just completely acting like he's just been perfectly fine. Like he's been hurt. If you remember, you go back to camp, we thought he was going to be out for the year.
yeah, definitely.
So the fact that he's even back to how he is now, you can argue if it's good or not, but the fact that he's back to where he's at right now is a big deal. I mean, it is a good thing. So yeah, this my, is that you or is that me getting static? I think that's me. I had my phone right next to it. Sometimes this stuff's just touchy. I don't know. Um, So coming into this game, I mean, what's your initial thoughts and expectations?
My expectation is for the Browns to come out and win. I mean, I expect to see Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt often and early.
So do you think this is an interesting thing? I don't know what you think about this, but do you think they're gonna attack JJ Watt?
Mm, yeah, I do. I do think that they will attack JJ Watt.
Because if you think about it, that Texans, I mean, they're nothing compared to what they were. Like, just go a couple years ago. Remember when we played them in Houston? That was Baker's rookie year. We ended up losing, I think. That
Yeah,
team, that team versus now is nowhere near the same team. Like the Texans have just fallen apart. I mean, they don't. Brandon Cooks is their number one. They got Will Fuller. I mean, this should not be a very hard job for this Browns defense. The only part where I'm concerned, and I'll get your thoughts on this. I'm not worried about Deshaun Watson throwing the football. Not that he can't throw, because I think personally, I think he's a way better passer than someone like Lamar. And that's not a shot at Lamar. I'm just saying compared to some other guys the Browns have played, I'm concerned about Deshaun Watson taking off running, like what we've seen Joe Burrow do against this team.
yeah, definitely. I mean, we all know the Browns have a problem with kind of keeping a spy on the QB, and I mean, we've seen Joe Burrow do it to us. Um, we also seen Derek Carr do it to us. So I mean, that's one thing. If I'm the defensive coordinator, I'm also keeping. I'm planning for the quarterback run. I mean, we have to keep somebody in the eyes of the backfield. I think that's perfect that Jacob Fields is coming back because I think he's the perfect person to be that spy on the QB.
Yeah, and then like you said, with if Mac Wilson, now he could just be lying. I mean, players do that. Players do that. I mean, I've been there. I'm sure you've been there. I know you play
Mhm.
baseball. You
Bunch of
know,
times.
if 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 you're hurt and coach is saying, "Can you go?" You're gonna say, "Of course, yeah." I mean, unless you broke your ankle or something, but you want to play. So if Mac Wilson is really truly healthy, and if you're asking me, I would probably say he's not. And I'm not accusing him of lying. I'm just saying in general, I think he's probably about 80, 85% at this point. I think what the Browns really need him to do this week, guard Darren Fells.
Oh, Darren Fells.
Darren
Familiar
Fells.
name. Familiar name.
Yeah, I mean, he was good on the Browns. Like I think we knew that when he was here, but since he's been on the Texans, he has been an absolute difference maker. And that's a guy that Mac Wilson to me would be perfect, if you said, "Hey, this is our game plan. Jacob, you're going to be our spy on Deshaun. Don't let him, keep an eye on him." Then you put it on Mac or even a guy like Ronnie Harrison to cover Darren Fells because I mean, he has went from being like a number 2, number 3 tight end here in Cleveland to being a pretty good to potentially dominant number 1 tight end.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. We seen flashes over here for the 1 year I believe he was here with us, maybe two, but definitely
Yeah, I can't remember if he was here 1 or 2 years. It wasn't long though.
no.
No, but yeah, I mean, he showed flashes. Like I wouldn't say he was fantastic, but you seen like I remember that one play ironically against the Raiders. Um it was like Baker threw it like dead in the middle of the field, like probably 20 30 yards deep and Darren caught it like between two defenders. They hit each other and he just kept running for a touchdown. Like that's one of those things that's like, oh, okay. That was pretty impressive. you know. So, I'm
Yeah,
happy for him.
definitely.
I'm happy that he's, found himself, I guess you could say, but that's a guy who we're familiar with, but we're going to have to keep an eye on. So, is there other than Deshaun Watson, is there anybody on this Texans team that really concerns you at all?
Not really. I mean, Will Fuller is kind of a little concerning, but I really wouldn't put as much as Deshaun Watson.
Based on our performance so far halfway through this year, um do you think that um I literally just had it. What's his name? Running back. Um you know who I'm talking about? They traded for him from the Cardinals. I don't know why I can remember his name. Um
Yeah, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his
yeah.
name. David Johnson.
Yeah,
That's his
yeah,
name.
there you go. I
David
was
Johnson.
I was gonna say a good older running back, but I couldn't remember his name. Um, but anyway, based on what you've seen from this defense so far this year, going against we've gone against some pretty good running backs. Are you concerned about him at all?
I mean, we let the Oakland Raiders know they running backs run all over us, so I kind of guess I would be a little concerned. So yeah,
Yeah, that's the weirdest part. I mean, I don't live in Cleveland, but the weather in that game was like, hey, we're gonna run the ball. Like you couldn't throw. I mean, it was impressive that either quarterback, Baker or Derek, was able to do what they did. Because I mean, what was that? Like 40, 50 mile an hour winds?
yeah,
So like, I mean, you had Josh Jacobs just destroying us, and then you have what's his name? Devin Booker, who used to be on the Broncos, come in and just do the same. So yeah, I mean, he's going to be a concern, David Johnson, but it'll be interesting to me how much the weather dictates this game because I haven't heard anything. I heard it was going to be like 15-mile-an-hour winds, but that could have changed. Do you know anything about the weather Sunday?
not yet, but I will look into it this week though.
Yeah, because if the weather, I mean, if the winds are bad, I mean, they don't have to be as bad as the Raiders game was, but if the winds are that bad again, I would say it favors the Browns because of Chubb now coming back. But at the same time, the Raiders the Raiders just went up the middle every play. Just last week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago now. So It is a little concerning, but I guess we'll see. And another thing, people were saying like, "Oh, if the Browns had OBJ, they would have won that game." Well, yeah, probably. You know why? Because they wouldn't have had to throw the ball to him. They would have just, handed it off on some sweeps or whatever. It's like, yeah, I understand. It's easy to say that, but I don't know. Some people are just crazy. So, anyway, what's your score prediction for this game? What are you expecting to happen?
I'm expecting the Browns to come out, set up that run game, and it open up the play action. So let's say, I say Brownies 34-20.
34-20. It's funny. I didn't even I didn't even think of a number score prediction. I do think the Browns are going to win. Um and if they don't win, it's time to get really concerned because
I
listen, if
mean,
they
like I
can
said at the beginning, you got to come out and beat the teams you're supposed to beat. I mean, if you look at last year when let's see, that stretch that we had last year, we played Arizona, Cincinnati, and I want to say it was another bad team. We were supposed to beat those three teams. Those are teams we were supposed to beat. I mean, I know a lot of dysfunction with Freddie Kitchens and stuff last year kind of messed up last season, but I think we need to come out and we need to beat the teams we're supposed to be. I think we got Jacksonville, both New York teams. We at least got to get one from the. We gotta win those Ravens. We gotta beat the Ravens and the Steelers. I know it's gonna be tough, but we at least gotta get one.
Hey, you know what I think's going to end up happening in that last Steelers game? I think the Steelers are going to run away with the division as much as I hate to say it. And I know you would hate to say it too, but
Yeah, definitely.
I think the Steelers are going to end up like 14-2 maybe, you know what I mean? Like just one of those weird years where they're like super super good. Like they're normally good to average. They don't dip below that, but this year I think this year they really are a Super Bowl contender, not just a playoff contender, which is unfortunate. But with that last game, nobody's talking about it. That might be a game where the Steelers are starting Mason Rudolph or Devlin Duck Hodges, and resting all their starters, heading into the
Benny
playoffs.
Snell Jr. starting running back.
Benny Snell or what's the running back they drafted from Maryland? I can't remember his name. Um, But that could be a game. And my best friend's a Steelers fan. And I told him, I said, hey, I said, nobody's talked about this, but that last Browns Steelers game might not matter at all. so, um, so yeah, the Browns, I mean, when you go through the schedule, like you said, you got the Giants, the Jets, Jacksonville, um, I'm forgetting who I was gonna say. And then you count in that last Steelers game, assuming now we are assuming that they would be resting their starters. You got plenty more wins on this schedule. You got plenty more wins. So the Browns could easily get to 10-6, if not more. 9-7 would be like very disappointing at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not looking to go 9-7. I need 10-6.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, I predicted 9-7 just because, like, a lot of people were predicting like 7-9, 8-8, and I'm like, can we get over this negative crap? I'm telling you, all the time, negative, negative, negative. That's all we are as Browns fans. So, yeah, I mean, this season, we're halfway through. We've seen a lot of good. We've seen a lot of bad. We're getting guys back healthy. There's a I think the rest of this year is going to be pretty good, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's safe to say to me.
So, I mean, if you're a Browns fan and you're saying halfway through that 5-3, you're not happy with that. I get what you're saying, but you got to look at past years. Look where we're at now. Look at the positives. We might have found our head coach. I mean, that might be something we could finally say. So there's a lot of positives, and there's a lot of negatives. But as far as this season finishing up the year, the playoffs are certainly reachable. It's going to be harder now since you lost to the Raiders, but it's certainly there. So, wrapping up, anything you want to say before we leave?
Man, how about them Buckeyes?
Yeah, I mean it's so weird to watch games without fans. It's so weird, especially because I live here. So like I know the shoe, I'm by the shoe a lot, and
Yeah.
it's like that's just so weird because it's always packed full of people, always packed full of people. So yeah, that is, it's weird. I tell you, what's going to be the weirdest part? It's going to be playing Michigan in December.
Oh my God, yes.
I mean, how many Thanksgivings? I mean, I don't know if you're like me, you look forward to Black Friday too, but
Definitely.
I mean, that's like the best 3 days of like my life every year. you know, you got Thanksgiving Thursday, you get fatter, or at least in my case, which isn't hard to do. And then you turn around Friday and you're throwing hands in the store over over a video game. Then you turn around on a Saturday and you get to yell at the TV, fight with family over the game. And this year we don't have that last part. That's it's gonna be weird. And I don't know why they did that. Like I heard people say, "Oh, it's got to be the last game." No, it doesn't. I'd be perfectly fine with playing Michigan regularly and then finishing up with Indiana or you know Illinois or something like that. You know, just doesn't make sense. But I don't know. Now that Clemson lost to Notre Dame, I think there's a real chance that we could get number one. You know, I
Yeah,
mean
definitely.
if Ohio State finishes good, and if it comes down to OSU and Bama for number one, and Ohio State, because Bama's got a tough schedule, and who knows, they could lose to Florida in the AFC SEC championship game. You know, so it's going to be an interesting season, that's for sure. And we knew that starting, but it's just it is what it is. I hope that Fields gets a Heisman because based on
Yeah,
what you've seen
definitely.
this year, I mean, this man, he makes it look easy. Like we
He
say
de-
that a lot, but unbelievable. So, well, let everybody know where they can find you if they don't know already.
Yep. You can find me on Instagram at Cam Chasin, CamChasinn. And you can find me on Instagram at Browns Nation.
Yep. So be sure to go check him out. And still don't have a name for this. So
Yeah,
if
we
you listen to this and you think of a good name, send. Yeah, I mean, put it in the chat because
please,
right
please.
now it's just weekly talk. so so but as always, thanks for coming on. Thanks
No
for
problem, man.
talking
No problem.
Browns. Hopefully next time we talk will be after a big victory. And hopefully you'll be looking good. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.
See you.